Yo, everybody, this is the Let's Not Pretend podcast. It's your boy Trapparelli here with my motherfucking co-host, my motherfucking man,
Migo.
Migo Montana.
Yes, sir.
This is the Let's Not Pretend podcast,
First episode.
episode 1.
Uno.
Let's get it started.
So this being our flagship episode, we're going to get some of the more boring things out the way and maybe just introduce the purpose of what Let's Not Pretend is.
Let everybody know what we about.
So the way I kind of frame it is, we're creating conversational space for niggas to kind of come together and not have to pretend about their ideals and their ideologies and, how they feel about things in a geopolitical sense, socioeconomic sense, just an overall urban demographic sense. You know what I mean? Like, let's have real conversations about where technology and legalities and elections and medical advancements, where all that shit has really realistically gotten us right now.
We're living in a more modern society, and we live by a lot of traditional ideals still. Our society, economy, everything is kind of still clinging on to the past, and we've shot so far into the future with AI and with technology just surpassing everything that we thought that we knew about life. We need to kind of reevaluate what we're doing here.
Yeah, what we're doing, how we're doing it, why we're doing.
Because we're doing it wrong.
Yeah, maybe wrong is a stretch. Maybe you can say there's reform that can improve what's going on all fronts.
We need to adjust a little bit sometimes. Yeah, and we're here to talk about that.
So look, that segues into a good question. Do you think it's more of a personal adjustment for people? Like, you think niggas gotta really readjust how they think? You know how they say dress for the job you want, not the job you have? Do you think it's more of that, or do you think it's more of the government and the people that be have to admit that the system was always designed to have a tipping point, and this may be a good tipping point for everything to get, you know what I mean?
So you are right on two fronts there. I'm going to speak on the second one first.
Come on, nigga, I'm always right.
Everything that when we started, our systems that we started, however long ago, some of it was the 1700s, some of it was the early 1900s. When we started, all the systems we started, these systems were made being known that there's going to be a tipping point sometime in the future. Now that we live in the future, we're reaching those tipping points. We're reaching the tipping point of capitalism. We're in the late stages of capitalism. We're reaching that tipping point right now. And with technology, we're kind of reaching the tipping point of a transition from a work-life balance to a can robots work for us and we just have life balance.
Yeah. And it's funny, it's changing.
What I mean?
It's changing on all fronts too, because over here in America, it's kind of like the work-life balance is affecting how people live their everyday life and their quality of life and issues like that. But in other countries like Japan, the work-life balance is literally halting their population. Like, they're not having more babies and shit like that because there's an insecurity around their literal way of life.
Yeah.
So, that's why I like the name of the podcast, Let's Not Pretend. Let's not pretend that your inability to reproduce as a nation isn't fucking damning. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Japan's living in the future just now. I love Japan. Don't get me twisted. I love it. I love the place. I love the people. I love the culture.
Yeah.
However, it's like, at the same time, the world view is, motherfuckers in South Sudan are crazy and they're pieces of, they're savages and this and that and the third. But at the same time, in a war-torn nation, they ain't having no trouble keeping their population booming.
Listen, I love talking about Japan because you got to look at both sides of the coin. A lot of people love talking about how Japan's very clean, how everybody's very polite, and they stay in line, etc., etc. All that comes from something, and the thing that it comes from isn't necessarily a positive.
Yes, that's very true.
To keep people in line, you got to have stringent rules and stipulations and shit like that, things like that, to keep people in line. You feel me? So,
and it's even sometimes even deeper, right? Because Just to touch a little bit, I guess, on the geopolitical side of shit, right? You know, Japan is thinking about giving 4 of their provinces to African people, right? So it's like, yeah, so I think it's 4 distinct towns, or I don't know what they call it. So think how we got like counties.
Yeah.
I guess the equivalent of a Japanese county, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're giving 4 big counties away to Tanzania, Nigeria. Don't quote me on the countries, but I believe it's Tanzania. They say Tanzania, Mozambique, Nigeria, and maybe we'll look it up later.
That's interesting. Why are they doing that?
I think because of the working class. So they're looking for labor. Basically, it's a labor move. So they're going to bust Africans in, and I guess the cheaper labor will help boost the economy.
Japan has universal income. They pay you to live there, or pay however universal income. Don't get me to quoting stuff wrong.
Right.
But they have universal income.
Well, I don't believe that universal income applies to anybody that gets citizenship. I think that probably only applies to the naturalized Japanese born
Oh, no,
people.
I'm not saying let's go move to Japan.
Yeah, you
That's
can't just move to Japan, get citizenship, and then you got a universal income. No.
That's not my point, but that's part of the reason why their state is so beautiful. And they got listen, United States, you got to broaden your horizon. United States is the only place. It's not the best place. It's not the worst place. And it's not the only place. You just got to, do your research, broaden your horizons.
But the reason I say that is I've watched a couple podcasts where people were, maybe giving hot takes. Because, everybody has to be entertaining, but even through the jokes, there's always a grain of truth, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people believe that by giving away these counties to the Africans, that the Japanese society is inevitably dooming itself to dealing with crime and people that can reproduce and populate their nation quicker than them and who will never assimilate to the rules and the lifestyle and the culture of Japan. And I just want to ask you, what the fuck do they mean by that, right?
Okay.
Do they want these African niggas to start wearing kimonos and shit? Like, what do they really mean?
I don't disagree with them. All of that is 100% going to happen. I definitely agree. And what they want is, unlike the United States, which is a melting pot, they want people to stay pure in their country of origin. And I can't be mad at it.
No, nobody can be mad at somebody for their personal opinions. Japanese people can feel however they want to feel.
I can't be mad at purification of your race in your country. I know that sounds bad being from America and white supremacy running rampant, but I can't be mad at Japan wanting to be full of Japanese people. I can't be mad at that, bro.
But they're literally giving away 4 counties to these African workers for strictly labor purposes. So now, with the labor purposes, right, they're going to have rules in place. I don't want to quote what the rules are. I don't even think they made them up yet. But there's going to be some type of policing. They're not going to be really allowed anywhere and doing anything. They're not necessarily citizens.
Yep.
So I don't want to call it a refugee camp, but what's the stipulation between an over-policed neighborhood because you're from, let's say, Mozambique in Japan, or an over-policed neighborhood in Long Island because white people inherently just don't like niggas? You know what I'm saying? If you introduce a population...
You're asking me what's the difference?
Yeah, in my opinion, because I'm just saying, if you introduce a population to Japan of black people, and they don't have a large population of black people in Japan, and then when you finally do introduce it, you kind of give them their own neighborhood and police them and only allow them to work certain jobs, I feel like that kind of sets in stone the assimilation conversation. It's like, yeah, no, motherfuckers getting treated like that will never assimilate to the ridiculously hard culture that Japanese is to assimilate to.
They're not part of it.
They're never going to be part of it. If that's the image and the optics going in, they'll never be able to assimilate.
They're separate.
They're automatically off the grid.
Yeah.
So what is the assimilation conversation even about if that's the inception point for bringing the Africans in?
The assimilation conversation is about this is still part of Japan. This isn't Africa. You feel me?
Talk to me, gang.
So if y'all are on our soil, y'all should move how we move.
No, you should move
But
how we want you to move.
The fact that y'all are on our soil and we're not gonna mix and mingle with y'all, we can't really expect y'all to turn into us. You feel me? You can't.
Would be, right. Where would that take place?
That wouldn't even make sense.
Unless we turn it into a refugee camp where you're doing forced learning. Like we're doing a little mini North Korea for these African
unless
niggas.
You're doing that. But they don't even want to
saying?
do that. So the only thing that really makes sense is to chop off the land and sell it to Africa, move it to Africa. That's really what makes sense. Let's think about it. But nobody's doing that in 2025.
Chopping off land and shipping it over. Yeah, nah, nigga, that ain't happening.
Yeah, we're not doing that. If anything, we're doing it the other way around. We're separating from our mainland,
right,
but still being the same as the mainland people, but doing our own thing, like Pakistan and India.
So listen, so basically what I'm saying is the optics behind it was this. A lot of these people, a lot of fucking YouTube talking heads like we've become, believe that these Africans that they put in Japan will be inherently rule breakers because of the crisis that's going on in the UK right now.
That's how people think. That's what they said about the Uyghurs in China. Just because they have a different religion, it's not the same situation. The Uyghurs, they just a different religion. That's it. They lived there. They've been there. They've been doing their thing.
They Chinese as hell.
They Chinese
as hell. Don't forget the as hell. What's a Uyghur so Chinese, nigga? You wouldn't even be able to tell that they was a Uyghur as a regular person.
But once they did something a little bit different, everybody ostracized them and then tried to manipulate them. And
that situation's a little bit more nuanced, so because they're both Chinese, I believe.
It's human nature at the end of the day.
I think you're pretending that skin color doesn't exist.
No, skin color is going to exacerbate the issue.
Yeah, that's true. If they did that over religion, they look the same. Imagine when these fucking Africans come in and their YouTube over there probably telling them that Africans are still collecting heads and elongating their babies' lips and shit. Some of them are, not disrespecting the ones that are. But that is, I would say that's objectively primitive. You know what I mean? We ain't gonna lie on them niggas and make it seem like they doing some shit we all fuck with.
Hey, listen, I can't tell you what's primitive or not. Traditions and primitivity could be the same thing. Those could be neck and neck, depending on your perspective.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. A nation's ability or inability to reproduce.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like because of technology we don't talk about some of the things that are very much common sense and should be like, that should be the indicator of a nation's strength more than the money or the military power? Like
the reproduction?
Yeah, like in 20 years, how many fucking people will you have over there without migration?
That's a very good question. I'll say in a perfect world, reproduction is important. But in this world, money is important.
You think?
The nation with the most money is the winner. The people almost don't even matter now. If we got 10 billionaires in our country, we lit. It's about the winners. How many winners
you say the people don't matter, but then why do people fight immigration so fiercely then? That does the ideology doesn't match what society is telling me there.
I would say the lowest denominator of people matter and the highest denominator of people matter. So the 1% at the top and the 5% at the bottom matter.
And what, everybody else in the middle is just fodder? Just fucking around?
Everybody in the middle is meant to make an economy and to make the economy go around. But the people at the bottom make you look bad and the people at the top make you look good.
How long do you think that's sustainable?
It's not. It's almost over.
Okay.
The bubble's about to burst.
So we're back to the tipping point conversation.
Yeah. Back to where we started. The bubble's about to burst. All the bubbles are bursting like the next 5 to 10 years. All the bubbles are ready to burst. The capitalism bubble, get it out of here. The politics bubble, the presidents and all that, that's not working anymore. It's about time to get that out of here too.
So you a Mandani boy?
That's politics.
You a Mandani boy?
All of this is politics. And
my boy is a Zorani Mandani boy.
Let me tell you how wicked To our next topic, this internet and this propaganda is, bro.
You should tell them about your life as a young socialist. No, go
That's
ahead.
what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
This nigga
Mondani isn't presenting socialism.
Here we go.
He's not presenting. Y'all don't know.
Here we
Y'all don't
go.
know what socialism is. He's presenting what capitalism is supposed to be. Is democratic capitalism, where the money that we pay in taxes goes back to us. That's all. That's what they say we have now. They're lying to us. The money goes to the military. Look at the budgets. The money goes to the police and the military. Let's talk about it. But Zoran Mondani, he wants to open up state-run, tax-funded supermarkets. So the taxes we spend all our money on is paying for the supermarket. So we get a return on our investment. Like, the least y'all could do is fix the roads. That's the least y'all could do without tax money. Y'all don't do nothing for us without tax money. That's all he's doing. That's not socialism, bro. You can't be mad. Nobody could be mad at it. Are you mad at that? You can't be mad at that.
I don't think I'm mad at it because it would make me sound stupid, right? But I think that there is a world where
Listen,
it's just like, what do you opening the door for that shit for?
listen, the
man?
supermarket doesn't need to profit. You feel me? It's all paid with taxes. It doesn't need to make money. Everything can be $1 and that shit could lose money every quarter. It doesn't matter. You feel me? Everybody's happy. The people are happy because they're getting their food for $1. Mm-hmm. And the supermarket is always funded because every time I cross the goddamn George Washington Bridge and pay $15, that $15 goes into the supermarket. You feel me?
Yeah, but doesn't that eventually just fuck up the market? Because now, if I'm a rich person, I could just go to the dollar supermarket and hoard. Like, I can eliminate a budget if I wanted to by just going to the dollar supermarket and buying all my shit there. And what's the quality of the stuff in the dollar supermarket? It's kind of like the EBT debate right now. It's like, I just feel like this shit kind of already exists for people in the country. And I just feel like running a whole entire city, especially the most fucking populous and important city, arguably in the goddamn world. And I don't even think it's arguable.
Yeah.
I
top
don't know.
5.
Yeah, top 1, nigga. It's top 1 and it's not number 1. Like, you feel me? Like, so it's like,
that goes back to another thing you said though.
You don't think it's difficult to maybe want to run this city that way?
That goes back to a whole different thing that we said in our whole mission statement. Mm-hmm. We need a whole different culture. We need a whole different mindset. We need a whole different way of thinking.
He's not pushing
because
culture.
That's not.
He's pushing politics. This isn't a different culture. He's pushing a whole different political system for us to adhere to.
Yeah, the system isn't going to work.
Don't conflate. Don't pretend it's the same thing. Maybe
no,
that's
I'm
the
saying.
Socialist in you.
I'm saying the system's not going to work if the people's minds are the same. If everybody's selfish and everybody's in the rat race, I got to be better than this person. I got to beat this person. I got to make as much as I can off the backs of other people. Then the system's not going to work. The person, whoever is running the supermarket that's run with tax money, is going to steal all the money and put shitty products. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not going to work if it's run with greed. But if we change our mindsets and get rid of the capitalist rat race mindset of I got to be at the top of the list, we could all be great. Everybody could be great, bro. Everybody could eat. Everybody can have a house. Everybody can have everything. Or a few people could have super everything, and then everybody else could have a little bit, and then a bunch of people could have nothing. That's our options. And we're choosing the latter.
Maybe that's true. Maybe that's not true. Maybe you just opened my eye to something about the migration conversation and the debate there. Just like the migrants, right?
Go for it.
That were in the hotels for goddamn forever. It felt like in New York City.
They were in 5-star hotels. If y'all don't know, whoever's watching, if y'all don't know, this was during COVID, right? During COVID.
Shit, still now.
When the migrants
still
had the caravan and they were walking, they came to New York City, and the government opened the doors to them and put them in the best hotels that we had.
And gave them iPads in some instances, gave them
cell
phones.
They had a stipend too.
They got a stipend for money. They got a food stipend. They got to just per diem. Listen, it just comes down to me asking you this. The money clearly, the government clearly has money to do initiatives like that on the whim. Yeah. Right? The money is there.
Yeah.
So what is the point of having these state-run supermarkets when you could essentially just distribute the wealth? If you could do it to people that we don't fucking know from a hole in the wall, what's stopping you from doing it to the American citizen? And then it also kind of turns around and it's like the argument you had about the propaganda. It's like sometimes I wonder if it was just stigmatize all of these people from these countries just so Donald Trump had a little bit of a boost to get into office again. Like sometimes I wonder, like I'm not even wondering. I said, let's not pretend like the Democrats and the Republicans aren't in bed together. How the fuck did the big beautiful bill get passed? I know we're jumping around a bit, but it's just kind of like, it's just kind of
talk about it.
It's kind of just like if you kind of read between it. I think niggas, if niggas really read between the shit, son, it would make so much sense in the context of shit that we grew up watching. We grew up watching movies like The Usual Suspects and Scarface, where it's a lot of like double manipulation. You feel what I'm saying? And like smoke and mirrors and like even in The Wire, when what's that nigga name? Lil Kev? When Lil Kev told Randy to go tell a nigga to meet him in the alley, got the nigga killed. It's like all of this shit works together, but it's to misdirect us in the same time. Like, you see what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of me just feels like all of that shit is good that we're talking about. All that democratic socialism and all of that shit. But at the same time, it's just so useless because there's immediate fixes available.
Let me say.
They show us all the time, bro, that the immediate fix is available. And I just wonder what keeps us from fixing it immediately for all people.
It's the mindset. It's a lot of propaganda has kept us in a certain mindset, but it's the mindset. Like I said earlier, Japan has universal income, so it's not a far-fetched idea.
Everybody in Japan look the same, though. See, that's another thing. When people talk about the homogeneous, like let's break down a myth if we can.
The United States isn't homogeneous because we're a melting pot.
But when people talk about the happiest countries, right, in the world, with the highest quality of life and shit like that, it's always countries where almost everybody looks the same.
Yeah. No. And that's the reason for that. Psychological reason.
I feel like the psychological reason in America is pretended and stepped upon. I feel like that's a conversation that we really need to kind of get more back into.
So you're saying nobody really puts that out there, that the reason that we have a lot of these issues is because we look different.
Yeah, I think and
somebody needs to just say that blatantly. We look different, so we have issues with each other.
Yeah. I think that you know, the TV and the world has always pushed that image. That, you know what I'm saying? That at some point we had real tensions between each other. Like real serious tensions. And I feel like we've done absolutely nothing to kind of have a conversation around these tensions and how we can overcome them. But then if you look at history, nobody overcomes their tensions. Everybody just absorbs the loser.
Let me
and kind of just wipes their culture out. I think white people might be mad they ain't never did that to niggas.
Let me tell you something that I thought about the other day.
Talk to me.
When we speak on history, I was watching somebody on YouTube and he was big on history. He kept talking about history. And when he was speaking on history, I kind of felt a disconnect. I feel like black people, I feel like everybody in the United States, when they hear United States history, it depends on who you're talking to. There's a disconnect. When you're talking about U.S. history, you're not talking to black people. Us black people, we can't relate because our history was strictly slavery until a certain time.
Yeah.
So when they're talking about, oh, this law was passed in the 1700s and then we did this and the
right 1776 and all of
in the 1800s and this happened in the early 1900s and the World War this and then this and this. We were slaves during all of that, so it didn't really matter to us. You feel me? And the same thing, I don't know what the Asian people were doing, but they're not in the conversation when we talk about World War II. We talk about the slaves were put in the war, and then the white people were put in the war, and that's it. And women wanted to be in the war. Like, we don't talk about Asian people were doing this, Spanish people, and this and this. Like, everybody has a different version of U.S. history for themselves. So we don't all relate to each other, and we can't all celebrate America's triumphs and histories. You feel me? There's no triumph for all of us. And that's a big disconnect that we have modern day in the United States.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. You know, one of my favorite points that I always bring up.
Go for it.
Is, which kind of piggybacks on that post, is I feel like every race except blacks has a movie where it's like they have somebody dying for like a useless cause, but it's like super sentimental. Like whether it's like for their honor, for it's their race, whether it's just for their planet, whether it's for like we have like their tribe, like you know what I'm saying? I feel like there's not like a lot of last stand. Like I feel like men have an obsession with dying in battle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like movies really give like a good push in the back when you see that. When you see a man like dying for what he believes in a last ditch effort against what he perceives as a threat, I feel like that's really good for the culture. And I feel like if you look back before movies, a lot of epics and stories had these kind of larger than life heroes.
Absolutely.
Like even if you want to, tie Jesus in there or Muhammad, you know what I'm saying, peace be upon them, you could even go that far back. And I just feel like we're erasing some essential traditional parts of what keeps society together because we're rushing to try to figure out what technology could do for us capitalistically. So I feel like fuck the socialism conversation and fuck the political conversation and fuck all that, right? Where do you think we stand? Like, all right,
what's the conversation?
What is the conversation? Does the internet, right? Because on the internet, you see so many different conversations, right? A big part of the conversation was in the 13s, 14s, BC days was spirituality and mysticism.
Yeah.
How much of that do you feel like has been discredited to the point where we've lost a part of what society is, but at the same time, we can replace it for what technology brings us? So you feel what I'm saying?
100%.
So it's like we've lost so much of the mysticism and the spirituality. But
I think 100%. I think we lost all of it.
But does the technology? Is it a good replacement, so to speak? Is it a good replacement?
Yeah. No. Thank you. I love that. I love that question. Thank you for that. And I have this to say about it. We've lost our connection to the earth, to the spirit realm, and to the just our connection with what we're doing here on this planet.
In terms of the mainstream conversation,
with all these distractions, yes.
Not just in general, because there are people out there that still do it.
Let me finish. I got you.
Okay, I'm just clarifying for the listener that we're not talking about just. We don't want no shaman to come in here, nigga, and put a hex on you like, nah, nigga, we real, nigga.
Forever we will have shamans. Forever we will have devil worshippers. Forever we will have those people. Those are niche people.
Right.
At one time, all of us were reading the stars. All of us were following the streams upstream and shit like that. So we've lost that.
Reading the Bible and taking it super hard. Wasn't George Washington a Puritan? Continue.
Yeah, taking our religions super, super serious. Right. Like, we've lost a lot of that. Now, modern day, we've come, like, kind of full circle with technology where certain things we've become too smart for. Right,
like prayer.
That's why the religions are kind of falling apart a little bit, because we've kind of out-thought the religions.
Yeah, nigga, what are we praying for when we could 3D print it?
But when it comes to spirituality, we've thought our way back into spirituality, because we can think so far ahead that we could think past Jesus all the way to the fifth dimension. You feel me?
Yo, hold on, son.
You
Nah,
feel
not
me?
two niggas from the hood having some shit to say. Why my man just went crazy?
Back in the days, we was stuck on Jesus. We could think past Jesus now, all the way straight to God. We could think right past that nigga. You feel me?
Right.
So we have so much
Whoa,
information and
I don't
technology.
know about that.
Now, you know what I'm saying.
Call him that.
You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
Jesus,
You don't gotta call
God.
God. You could call him whatever you want at this point in time, and that's we're still figuring these things out. But with technology, we can have a different track of thinking, and we have a lot more information at our fingertips that we can really utilize.
See, but the information being at our fingertips doesn't necessarily make the information right or contrived from the right place. Like, I feel like, all right, so here's the nuance conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not pretend that back in the day, people could be nefarious, right? But to be nefarious back in the day, you had to put in a lot more effort behind it. You know, if you wanted to spread a false religion, you had to really go out of your way to do so. Even if you wanted to spread a true religion, you don't have to go out of your way to do so. Nowadays, you know, it's not really hard to fuck up being a bad person. Back in the day, if you fucked up being a bad person, it was kind of like clipped. Like, even I could think back to 2008, where it wasn't the social media era, which is funny. Your actual reputation and what you were doing meant more and carried further for some reason. Where it was kind of like, yo, if I fucked up egregiously in the streets or in school or some type of arena where I'm fucking constantly there, I can't bounce back as quick as I can as the internet. The internet low-key allows you to bounce back immediately. You may get canceled in some type of way. But outside of that, bro, the internet allows you to try something, fail, be bad at it, and come back and be bad again and again and again and make that a profitable situation. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like back in the day, you really had like a finite amount of times you could not be good at something before you had to find a new region. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like what I'm trying to say basically is replacing what I feel like was the mysticism and the spirituality and the connection to the world with technology. I don't see the parallel. I see us losing something and gaining something. As opposed to compounding society with both, I feel like the nefarious people understood how easy technology was to manipulate compared to religion. And what they decided to do is say, yo, let's run with technology and kind of throw this religion away, because religion keeps people a little too apt in their societal role and how that works all together.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with you.
Cause like if you think about it, bro, if you look back in the day, the distractions really were everything, but they weren't there. You know what I'm saying?
What you mean?
It was almost like the distractions were everything, meaning spirituality, God, the stars, astrology. All of that shit was really a distraction, because what's humanity's number one goal?
Yeah, I mean,
survival.
What's the purpose of life?
Surviving.
So
there's always distractions.
You got to do more than that.
See, that's the nuance that
I'm here for so many years. I can't just be surviving the whole time. I got to enjoy. Like, God gave us dopamine for a reason. It wasn't a mistake. I got to enjoy life. I'm not here just to survive. Sex feels good for a reason. I'm not just trying to procreate.
Yeah, for procreation.
No, I'm not just trying to procreate. There's something more to it.
No, but there is a nuance where you understand that, see, this is why this is beautiful.
There's something more to it, I think.
No, but that's beautiful if you look at it. In the sense of just a biological sense, it would make sense that something that's necessary for your species to continue would feel more enjoyable than anything else you can do.
But
do you
that's
think
not
that,
true.
I would believe that's divine intervention as well, but a lot of people would say that that's just biology.
But that's not true.
And evolution. Why?
The dopamine hits when you're scrolling on your phone all day. That's not helping society. That's not moving anything forward. What's the dopamine there for?
Some people might think that's us playing God. Some people might believe, listen, some Puritans would tell you that if you was to bring George Washington to today's world, he would tell you that getting dopamine from your phone screen is 100,000% against what the Bible teaches him. That is playing God. Like, yo, you just released your dopamine receptor, like, on some just willy-nilly shit? You're not God, bro. You're not allowed to do that. That's only supposed to happen when you nut in your wife, when you're trying to have a baby. They would look at it like that. Look at the Amish. That's what they're called, right?
That's because they're ignorant.
Ooh.
They don't know no better.
Niggas is beefing with Amish niggas now because of you, son.
They don't know no better.
Huh?
Because when the Amish niggas, they get
crazy.
that.
It's not North Sentinel Island, nigga.
When they get the Rumspringer and they can do whatever the fuck they want, they go crazy, nigga.
No.
They go crazy for a week.
There's a lot of religious people that up here
They go crazy, nigga. They love this shit.
No.
The dopamine is good for everybody. It's not just us. Amish people like dopamine too, nigga. We all like that shit.
No, I'm not saying niggas don't like it. But what I'm saying is by manipulating as much as we do with the distractions that we've created, all right, I feel like what we've done is we've replaced what was a pivotal cornerstone in society, keeping us together and making things like racism very, very hard to have the grasp that it has on society now, like, and prejudice and bigotry. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like the more and more we start to grab more distractions, bro, the more it's more difficult it is to keep hold of society how it was traditionally. And now
that's over.
But we're not trying to make society adhere to nothing now. It's just do what you got to do.
Yeah, no, we're in a transition time. That's up to whoever wants to be the leaders of right now. You need to set some new rules. The leaders need to set the new rules, bro. It's a new life. Like you said, the Amish life was a life back then.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2025. They're still living in the 1800s. You feel me? That was back then. We're living in a fucking robot, AI, flying cars life right now.
Yo, I hear you, but Manifest Destiny literally almost birthed this nation. And that was a
long time ago.
But that was an ideology and a concept bathed in spirituality. You don't think it's scary that everything that we're going to be doing moving forward is bathed in the concept of something that's been retaught by technology? None of this shit is really like coming from a good intention place. It's really just coming from how much better and how much ego can we build upon? How much better can we make things, and how much can we feed our egos? As opposed to saying, whoever created all of this is giving us a universal feeling and a universal purpose to do what we have to do as a nation and as a people to survive and move forward. I just feel like if you peel back the layers, you definitely would never hear anybody wanting the latter. You would hear everybody. I mean, nobody would want the first shit that I just said. They would want the latter, bro. You would want it to come from a more well-intentioned place than just trying to be better than you were yesterday.
Yeah, and I would love that we had a direct goal that we were trying to reach. I would love that if everybody, like a perfect world, if we were all on the same page, it would be a perfect world. And if we all had a direct goal that we were trying to reach, then we could literally have a utopian society. Unfortunately, that's not the case. But I could tell you how we could get to that place if you want me to.
Oh, you about to sell niggas a course? Hold on. He's about to sell niggas.
Chill.
They go never watch this show.
Listen, y'all niggas want robots so bad. Get robots to take over all the jobs. And then when the robots take all the jobs, you feel me? We were using the jobs to make money. So the robots are making all the money technically. The robots don't need money. You feel me? They don't eat. They don't buy clothes. They don't do nothing. They don't need the money. So now the robots is making all the money. Spread that wealth throughout all the people. Now we don't have to work, and we all got universal income. Now we can have a utopian society. Feel me? We can do arts. We can go back to arts. We can go back to making technology actually make sense to make everybody's life easier. Like, we can do everything.
Yeah, you might have just come full circle with the idea of what I was saying with the distractions or everything, but nothing at the same time.
Yeah, but we don't have that mindset. It's all in the mindset. It's all in the mindset, bro.
So you think everybody will spin back around to having that
No, I don't think we ever will. We live in a wicked people think crazy. We got Donald Trump as leader. People think crazy. Donald Trump would never want a utopian society. He want the top people to win and everybody else to fucking suffer.
All right, so a big part of why I'm doing this fucking podcast shit, right, is because I believe in everything you just said in the last 10 seconds.
Thank you.
But
Uh-oh.
I've always struggled with how the fuck do you prove it to niggas?
How you prove what?
The importance of what you just said. Because really, yo, bro, Donald Trump being the leader of this country is very problematic. Yes. And it's actually kind of like a signifier of a lot of things that have transpired prior to him winning his second term.
Yeah.
Like we can go all the way back to 2004 and see the signs of our society becoming cynical enough and changing to the point where we might elect a nigga like Donald Trump. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like, yo, at the same time, niggas don't care about that shit, bro. Gangster, niggas don't care about that shit. And I don't even want to say niggas. Like, listen. Brock doesn't care about that shit neither, bro. And neither does fucking David Chen. Like, a lot of people just don't, like, it's masked because the immediate effects are not felt because of the distractions. You know what I'm saying?
That does make it harder.
It makes it so much harder, but then it's like, yo, how do you make niggas understand that shit is just as important as some of the other shit that we go through on a day-to-day basis? Like some of the effects that we don't understand, that we like motherfuckers might not understand our life, but we understand the effects of it. We got to make motherfuckers understand, like, yo, whatever's nuanced and super important to you, this shit's got to be up there with you. You know what I'm saying? And at the very least, you got to understand the shit so that you can participate in the shit correctly. You know what I mean? You don't got to be on the front line, but it's like every nigga in the hood knows when you get to the court, when you get to the integration room, lawyer up. Stay solid, lawyer up. You feel what I'm saying? This needs to be second nature knowledge in the same way. Do you understand what I mean? Like understanding how to read between the lines politically and understand how certain things affect you and where they came from. I feel like that needs to be second nature.
Well, what you're saying needs to be second nature is the fact that history repeats itself, which is a fact that all of us know. We've all heard that phrase, but history literally repeats itself. It's cyclical. Everything is cyclical. And if you pay attention to shit like that, you would see it coming, and you could see how a certain pattern of leadership and going left, going right, going left, going right ends up into radical right-wing things or radical left-wing things, which is why Mondami is like, you know what I mean? We're at the radical situation right now.
I don't fuck with you, nigga. Fuck out of here.
We at the radical situation. Either you're a Trump, super radical Trumper, or you're a quote-unquote radical Mondamier, which I don't think is radical, but
I don't think that's that radical.
Let the press tell it, right. You know, is radical. So history, are we all going to start paying attention to history and watching patterns?
No.
I don't think so.
It sounds good. Why?
Sounds good.
Why? Yo, in my honest opinion,
I don't know why. I don't know why. We could easily pay attention and see shit coming. You don't got to be Nostradamus. Shit happened already and shit's going to happen again. The fucking economy, the way that the inflation, the prices, all that, it's a cycle. It's happened before. It's all happened before. It all keeps happening. But again, last time it happened, I was a slave. I wasn't even paying attention to the economy when it happened last time. That was white history when it happened last time. It wasn't black history. I wasn't allowed to read. You feel me? But it happened. It keeps happening. It's a cycle. It's a pattern, bro. Sorry for having all the answers and not having no answers at the same time. But that's what it is.
That's really what it be. Well, you know, I mean, that's very true in itself. But I just feel like you said, the mindset is important. And I feel like that's what we can control in the immediate moving forward is how people think, how people raise their children, what people define as quality of life.
How do you change mindset? I think I agree with you on that. That's the most important thing that we need to change. How do you change mindset?
In a modern sense, you got to incentivize people to continually do something until you condition them into thinking that way. That's my honest answer for today's mind. Like, you got to incentivize people with a task And eventually that'll break their mindset into thinking that, you know what I'm saying, this is the way to go. Because just a quick example, and I'm going to use both sides of the coin. The propaganda told us that, you know, the EBT program and the social welfare program kind of broke the black woman's mindset into thinking like, I don't need a traditional patriarchal household.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I could do what I want to do and still live my life as a little bit immature and have children from multiple men for not any other reason that, you know, I can sustain to do so. I think that was a very deliberate mindset break. And it was incentivized by stupid shit like cheese and just, you know, money and food and just financial, like very basic financial security, you know? And I think it was hand in hand and deliberate. And if you look on the white side of the coin, look at the military industrial complex. You know what I'm saying? I think
the incentives there are real good.
Yeah, the incentives in joining the military are amazing. Mm-hmm. You know, in the time that you're serving, like, you know what I'm saying? In the time that you're serving, the incentives are just really good. So it's going to keep people always joining.
Absolutely.
Especially, you know, white people. They
the propaganda for
they have the history. Yeah, they have the history. Like you said, we really jump in the story till late.
That shit don't work for us.
Right.
To be that's proud to be American.
That's why they put us in the commercials the most, because they're really trying to get to us, because they don't have no problem recruiting white men because they have the history of the purple medals and the statues and the dedication.
Pride. They got the pride. They got the
pride. You know what I mean? So. And I think that's a very deliberate mindset break as well on their part, where they keep these people bloodthirsty, in a sense, to protect a nation that everybody's dying to get into.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not necessary.
And this is y'all nation. So y'all.
And this is y'all nation.
Y'all hold it down. This is y'all nation.
This is y'all nation. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I think it's a purposeful, mind break. And I think that's the only way that the modern human knows how to... The modern American knows how to operate, so we gotta fucking incentivize. Right, we gotta incentivize
monetarily.
I don't know if it's monetarily. There's going to be some money involved, but you kind of made me a believer in that supermarket shit you were talking about earlier, without getting too deep into it. Where we're gonna have to get up and I'm gonna fuck you up. But maybe stuff like that, like, you know, maybe a little bit more social programs.
The military has that. Also, let me just throw my 2 cents. They have tax-based commissary, and which is basically the same thing. The supermarket run by the tax, it's the same thing. They already have that, and they have something else that's tax-based. The military always run these programs, but they keep it on the low. They keep it hush hush so that the major population doesn't know that we can do this for everybody.
Right.
Shit's already being done. Takes a little bit of research, a lot of research, and thanks to the internet, because I didn't go to the library and read books. Thanks for the internet for giving me these talking points and giving me these perspectives. And fuck the internet, because the internet's fucking up everybody's life at the same time. I got a love-hate relationship. But how much time? What are we looking at on time? I say 35.
We've probably gone about a good 40 minutes.
You got one more topic we want to run real quick?
Well, since you just talked about the internet, right?
Fuck the internet.
It is fuck the internet, but I also feel like the internet nowadays is a very almost accurate depiction on where we are as a culture and like as people, especially like just the way the ideologies, man.
Accurate in what way?
I feel like the internet really does speak to people, but not for people.
Oh, shit.
You know what I'm saying? It speaks to them.
Yeah.
But it doesn't speak for them. And
Absolutely.
It's like you can really see where people are with the things that they like online and what they resonate with and what they think is okay. And it's like, yeah, you know, the internet is weird because it's like it kind of just sifts out where people are. It's not a reflection of where people are, because not everybody's going to put themselves out there and show the world what type of personality they really have. There's a few that will, but then you see their followings, you see the influence that they have, you see how the AI and the technology rewards them for what they perceive as what they're doing.
The AI and technology will change your own perception. You thought
Will change your own.
You thought you were perceiving, that is perceiving for you.
Yo, you see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's like, yo, man, this shit is
Yeah.
shit is spooky. So it's like, in
I'm-
your opinion, you don't think that the internet reflects where you are as a culture?
I think you have to be very, very purposefully educated on everything that you're doing, because you can be easily tricked for your ignorance. The algorithm is showing you what you need to see. I mean, the algorithm is showing you what the algorithm wants you to see.
Needs you to see at this point.
And if you don't know that, your whole perspective on the world is fucking fucked up. You think the world is like the way that the algorithm is telling you that the world is, based on what you're seeing on the internet. And if you don't know that, if you didn't know that, not everybody knows that, bro. Not everybody knows what algorithm is. Some people just go on the internet and have fun. They don't do research, and you know what I mean? It's not an educational tool. The internet's not an educational tool. You can go in there and have fun, get naked, make money, like whatever the fuck you want to do.
Right.
If you don't know certain things, your whole perspective is warped. And a lot of people are walking out here fucking warped. A lot of people delusional and warped in the mind. That's the bad part of the internet.
And that's the point of this podcast and this flagship episode.
Yeah.
Is to just try to lead people in a direction where they don't need to be warped and can still enjoy what they want to enjoy.
I want to educate and I want to inform, but I also want to lead. There's certain footsteps that we should be taking, and just listen to me. I think we should be going in a certain direction, and we're going in the opposite. We need to, you know what I mean? We're going to talk about it. We're going to think about it, and y'all decide. Y'all decide if it's the right thing or the wrong thing. You heard, this is Let's Not Pretend podcast.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and let us know where you guys are from, and let us know what you want to hear us talk about. Like you said, there's a lot of things that I'm good at translating, man. My biggest gift to the world is translation. I could hear a lot of bullshit. I could hear a lot of political jargon, socioeconomic slop.
Hey, listen, we speak every language. We code switch.
Hey, man, I mean, we code switch, do all of that. You know what I mean?
Stupid. We are niggas.
Yo, whoa, ruckus.
This one's a nigga.
Yo, tune into episode 2, dropping next week.
Soon.